So far, the only real proof of alien life we have is the fossil print of some bacteria that died out millennia ago on Mars. But the universe is big, and the question remains, are we alone in the universe? And if not, are they friendly? Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Every new sub helps us achieve our goal and keeps us motivated to create new content. With that being said, I'm your host, Jamie, and here are 10 must-see alien invasion films. Number 1. Edge of Tomorrow. When an alien invasion threatens the world, we take action. In this film, the aliens are called mimics, and after they landed, quickly got control of most of Europe, making the world form the United Defense Force. Major William Cage, played by Tom Cruise, is sent to the front lines. However, he's a coward, and due to him blackmailing the general, he's demoted to private. Cage is then at Heathrow Airport with the J Squad, and once they arrive in France, the squadron is massacred, leaving only Cage alive when he decides to blow everything up, including himself, and then getting the mimic's blood all over him. When he wakes up, he's back at the airport, about ready to head out, when he realizes he's done this before. As these events go on, Cage gains a lot of skills regarding combat, and eventually meets Sergeant Rita Vertosky, played by Emily Blunt, who's also a celebrated war hero. She ends up training Cage, knowing what he's going through, making sure she has somebody by her side to win this war. I won't spoil this ending, as it's just perfect for this film. It's a whole lot of action, a phenomenal score, and great cinematography. The chemistry between Blunt and Cruise is a bit questionable, but still plays out really well. So if this seems like your kind of flick, head over to Hulu, Sling, Google Play, Apple TV, Fandango, or Prime to check it out. Number 2. War of the Worlds. Loosely based off H.G. Wells' novel of the same name, Steven Spielberg brought us this action-packed film, starring Tom Cruise as Ray and Dakota Fanning as Rachel, his 10-year-old daughter. We follow mostly these two. The plot is quite interesting and deserves a closer look. Ray is separated from his wife when one day she brings Rachel and Robbie, his son. They spend the weekend doing whatever, playing catch, homework, visiting, what have you. However, one day, there is a storm that rolls in and lightning strikes several spots, sometimes more than once. And these giant tripods come out of the ground, causing a mass panic. Ray is now on a mission to keep his kids safe. Robbie at one point decides to join the Marines who are fighting nearby and is presumed to have perished, so Ray and Rachel continue on. While they're sleeping one night, Rachel gets freaked out, runs outside, and gets abducted. When Ray gathers up all these grenades, gets abducted himself, and then blows up the probe. I'm not gonna lie, for 2005, these special effects are awesome, and the alien tripods are just brought to life in this film. One of the unique characteristics of this film is that it does have the anti-war aspect. You know, people running away instead of fighting, but it also felt similar to the 9/11 attacks, and how people were just trying to survive. And then how Robbie went to join the Marines. It brought back thoughts of teenagers getting involved when they're really not sure of what's going on. But make sure to take some time to enjoy this over on Pluto, Sling, Paramount Plus, Roku, Google Play, Fandango, Apple TV, or Prime. Number 3. They Live. Imagine being able to put on a pair of sunglasses and you can see what the world is hiding from us. In this 1988 film directed and written by John Carpenter, where aliens are among us and controlling everything we do, in a way. We follow Nada, who's a drifter that just came to California for some work, meets Frank and then Gilbert. They end up going to a church where they realize it's a secret meeting place, and it ends up getting raided. Nada was able to take a box of equipment that was there and finds a pair of sunglasses that reveals aliens living with us. After some time, Frank and Nada meet up with Gilbert again and meet the human resistance, where they also learn exactly what the aliens are doing to our world. After that, though, the rest just needs to be experienced. The main theme that got Carpenter to write this was all the politics and how society is just trying to sell you something. He was particularly talking about Reaganomics and how it was controlling what we did. It also goes on to present the theme that these higher-ups sell out all the time, so they're just becoming the aliens in this film. I would really like to know your interpretation of this film, so head over to Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango and let me know your final thoughts on this entry. Number 4, Independence Day. This was a huge hit in 1996 when it premiered, and it's surprising to think that Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin came up with this film because of an interview for Stargate. Up until this film, most alien invasions, the aliens kind of hit out instead of just bam, they're there. So they took this idea and ran with it, making it a global attack, releasing on July 3rd, 1996, with early showings on the 2nd. This was a brilliant idea, considering the film starts off on July 2nd, when all of a sudden, large spacecrafts show up all over the world. Captain Steve Hiller is called back to base while on leave for the holiday, when his girlfriend and her son leave the city with their dog. Over in New York, David decodes the countdown to the strike and gets to DC to tell the president to evacuate larger cities. When they all get aboard aboard Air Force One when the attacks start, killing millions of people worldwide. The next day, saucers erupt from the big spaceships, causing the military to fight. Well, Captain Hiller captures an alien and brings it to Area 51, where he learns the truth of what the government hides. This is one of my favorite 90s films, and the cast is star-studded, seeing Will Smith, Bill Pullman, Jeff Goldblum, Mary McDonnell, Vivica A. Fox, and many more. Make sure to take a look at this one over on Hulu, Sling, Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango. Number 5, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Dan Trachtenberg picked the perfect movie for his directorial debut, and he nailed it. The second film in the Cloverfield franchise, we follow Michelle, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, leaving her home and going into rural Louisiana when she is hit by something, leaving her unconscious. When she wakes up, she's chained to a bed and meets Howard, played by John Goodman, where he tells her that aliens invaded and the earth is inhabitable. Howard also brought his young co-worker, Emmett, played by John Gallagher Jr., who seems to be happy just to be alive. Howard goes on to tell them about his daughter, trying to make him seem like a better person, one that's had some trauma. Michelle and Emmett find some tools and make a sort of hazmat suit so they can go outside. But Emmett, claiming responsibility, gets killed. Michelle is able to break out and leaves the bunker when she notices Howard really wasn't lying about the aliens. I won't spoil this ending, but it's definitely worth a watch. Most of the time it feels more like a suspense film rather than an alien invasion. But once that comes around, it does not lack in anything. So head over to Hulu, Fubo, Sling, Roku, Paramount Plus, Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango to check this out. Number 6, A Quiet Place. John Krasinski directed and starred in this film. And honestly, I know a lot of people that wouldn't survive in this post-apocalyptic alien-invaded world. These aliens have such great hearing that even the slightest sound, you become the prey. We follow Lee, played by Krasinski, Evelyn, played by Emily Blunt, and their 3 children. And one just happens to be deaf. So their survival became pretty easy until the youngest one found a toy space shuttle, puts batteries in it, and makes some noise. Before Lee can get to his kid, the alien gets to him. After a year, the family has moved on to the best of their abilities. But Evelyn is pregnant, so yeah, she has some serious worries ahead of her. When she goes into labor, she tries to get to the basement, but steps on a nail, causing a picture to fall and break, leading the aliens right to her. So Lee and the kids make some noise and come to her rescue. It's a really wild ride, and the amount of precaution this family takes is insane, but it worked, even down to the way they find out how to defeat the aliens, which was purely accidental, but great. And the use of proper ASL in this film is my favorite. So many times we see people signing and it's just not right, or the dialect is wrong for the area. So having Melissa Simmons and mentor Douglas Rutloff teaching the others signing was perfect. Millicent said in an interview that she was helping to teach the others because in the movie they had been signing for years. It should have looked a certain way. And she was right. I found it interesting too that they weren't going to have subtitles and just make people get context clues. But ultimately went with subtitles because there were some parts you had to understand. Either which way, it's a great film and does have some lessons in it. So go check it out over on Fubo, Paramount Plus, Hulu, Roku, Sling, Prime, Fandango, Google Play, or Apple TV. Number 7, Mars Attacks. Tim Burton is a damn genius, and all of his films are great, including this one. Sure, it got a lot of mixed reviews, but it's not meant to be anything other than a dark comedy that's just weird. The special effects were great for 1996, and these little green Martians in shiny cloaks and with helmets just works. The plot is simple. Martians make contact with us, and upon meeting us, they attack, frying everybody that's in attendance, except for a news anchor and her dog. Later, a professor says it's okay for them to speak at Congress while they issue a formal apology, which doesn't happen as they attack everybody there and take the professor. Ultimately, humans learn how to defeat the Martians with an unlikely song. Then the world is safe again. I will say, seeing the news anchor's head on a chihuahua's body and the professor just becomes a head, it makes it even more worth it. This is truly your star-studded cast with Jack Nicholson, Glenn Close, Pierce Brosnan, Danny DeVito, Martin Short, Sarah Jessica Parker, Michael J. Fox, Tom Jones, and many more. You have to give it a look over on Google Play, Fandango, Apple TV, or Prime. And a little unknown fact, this movie is based off the 1962 trading cards by Topps, called Mars Attacks.
Hey folks, sorry to interrupt, but we just launched our very own merch store at fatninja.shop. We sell everything from t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and more, so we would greatly appreciate it if you checked it out. All the proceeds go to our future projects, so it helps us make any kind of movies and short films that we want to make in the future. So If you got time, check out fatninja.shop. Thanks again, and back to the video.
Number 8. Signs. I remember a lot of theories regarding crop circles in the early 2000s. And then finding out who was doing them was anticlimactic in a way. Then we had this film from M. Night Shyamalan in 2002, which hyped these theories even more. So we follow Graham, played by Mel Gibson, who lives on this isolated farm with his son, Morgan, daughter, Bo, and his brother, Merrill. Morgan, played by Rory Culkin, is asthmatic. Bo, played by Abigail Breslin, is obsessed with leaving cups of water everywhere. And Merrill, played by Joaquin Phoenix, is a former minor league baseball player. Graham was initially a priest, but after an accident that took his wife, he stepped away. One day, crop circles appear in his cornfield, and he dismisses it. But then there's these weird lights showing up all around the world, and Graham finds an alien. Merrill and him then try to protect the kids, doing everything they can to stay safe. I will tell you, Morgan having asthma is key here, and so is the water. It's M. Night, the king of clues. These aliens, though, they're creepy. And the way they poison people is a little Spider-Man-like, spewing out of their wrist. The way this ends, though, is borderline ridiculous, but still really good. But head over to AMC Plus, Philo, Sling, Roku, Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango to give this one a shot. Number 9. Skyline. It's rare to see an alien invasion film that takes place inside a condo, and I was leery about it at first, but it was done in such a way that was tasteful and beautifully put together. We follow Jared and Elaine as they go to LA to celebrate a friend's birthday. It's on this night we learn Elaine is pregnant. The next day, though, blue lights come crashing into Earth, hypnotizing those who look at them. And then, those people get taken. Jared, Elaine, and a few others are then trying to figure out a way to escape the city. More so the condo where they're at. One of the girls is able to drive out of the garage when the car and her are stepped on and destroyed. They all end up back in the condo, avoiding the lights and doing everything they can to get rescued. But do they? I can't spoil this ending. It's not a typical one, and I absolutely love that for this film. What's even better is the characters and how they relate to each other. It doesn't feel entirely like you're watching a movie. It feels more natural. The cinematography is well done and holds up after 14 years. So, travel on over to Tubi, Roku, Hulu, Google Play, Fandango, Redbox, Prime, or Apple TV to get captured by these aliens. Number 10. The Avengers. The late and great Stan Lee gave us these comics of superheroes, aliens, and all kinds of fights. We have Iron Man, the Hulk, Black Widow, Captain America, and Hawkeye, all coming together to form the Avengers. This is the 6th installment in the MCU, and let me know if you want a list about that. But this brought them all together for the common good of the world. So Loki tries to get this Tesseract so he can receive an army from the Chitauri to defeat Earth. Well, Loki gets his hands on it, and being the god of mischief, he is great at dishing it out. The group comes together and tries to take down Loki, but nobody knows what to do really, causing a lot of stress for them, especially Banner, who ends up transforming into the Hulk, where then Thor has to try to subdue him, realizing only Natasha can. Then the ship is getting destroyed. all the way to the potential threat of a nuclear missile coming into Midtown Manhattan. Completely action-packed, awesome stunts, a brilliant score, and a star-filled cast featuring Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner, Tom Hiddleston, and Samuel L. Jackson. You really can't go wrong with this. Make sure to treat yourself with this one over on Disney Plus, Google Play, Apple TV, Fandango, or Prime. And I'm pretty sure Disney still has all the MCU films in chronological order, as well as their phases. So enjoy some binge-worthy movies. You won't regret it. Thanks for checking out the video. Did we leave any films off the list? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to tap that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. You can reach out to us on Twitter or X at StudiosFat, or chat with us on Discord, linked below. Make sure to check out our very own merch store located at fatninja.shop. All proceeds go towards our future film projects, so we'd greatly appreciate it. I've been your host, Jamie. Thanks again. Take care.